I'm Ellen Lash.
And I'm Brad Wolf.
And together we have the Dough Maker food truck. And it started a couple of years ago. And we had an option to get this spot and I decided to expand.
It was built in the 1880s to a family, I believe their last name was Langley. And then the Fouts bought this property from the Langleys and opened up a store. And the Fout Farm store was in business for almost 100 years. I mean, it didn't shut down until somewhere in 1987, 88, something like that. And then they sold it to the Keplers. And the Keplers had it for many years, but I don't believe they ever opened it as a store. It just kind of sat empty, and the Keplers since passed on, so it's been through two families for a long, long time. And then when we purchased it, they told us the story of how all the different things that happened throughout this store. And Ellen, she said, well, why don't we just open it up as a store again? And so people are really excited about that. And I found out that this area was called Stella because a young man and his wife drove through the area. Her name was Stella, and they ended up, you know, I don't know, I don't think it was this property, but the little town became Stella. Well, that since disbanded because the post office shut down. There was a post office in a house, and then it became in the Fout store. And then we decided, actually Ellen, she decided that it should be called Stella's Mercantile to revive this area as Stella. When we first started coming over here, for whatever reason, whether we went to the winery or we're just driving through the country and she's showing me the area because I'm not from around here, I never saw this store, and she knew it was here. And then one day she says, we ought to buy that. And I'm like, okay, buy what? And when we pulled up, we couldn't see the store because of the jungle. And so my memory is there was nothing but a jungle around this whole area. And that wasn't, what, a year and a half ago. So we took down the jungle, and now we're revealing a store. And
well, I think a big important piece of the puzzle that how we got to here was my brother, David Booth, and my sisters purchased the land and the buildings together. And this was my vision. And then about 4 to 6 months into us owning it, they said, you know what? We're pretty getting older, and we're just not sure this is exactly what we want to do. And so we think we should get out from under it. And so they were gracious enough to allow me to purchase it from them. It was quite a process in that, insurance had to be gotten, bank loan, such and such. And so they waited more than a year for us to get everything in place so it could then go into the Dough Maker business. Yeah. So we're so gracious to them. We have a lot of really good crafters in the area and artisans, but not everybody knows where they are. And so it was kind of a thing that we think we would like to have a grocery pickup, as well as some of those people be able to showcase their wares. And so that's kind of what you'll be able to find.
Plus the Dough Maker.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of product from the Dough Maker available as well. And and some fun things for the children. Brad's family had a general store as he was growing up, and one of the things that they had was a 4-seat, 4-horse merry-go-round for children that are 40 pounds and under. So it will be in the store, and the kids can ride that if they meet the qualifications. So I'm really, really excited for that. We love kids.
You've been excited about that merry-go-round since the beginning.
Yeah, we love kids, and we can't wait to see them here. We're also pretty excited that we're able to get our hands on a potbelly stove that they had when it was the Fouts store, and it was when they had an auction after when they were finished. Then they sold the potbelly stove. So we were able to find one, I think down around Centerville, Ohio.
Something like that.
And so we got it installed, and we really enjoy coming up and working. And then it has a flat top on the top of it, and so we fix our lunch and have lunch here and continue right on. So there's a lot of fun times as well as a lot of stressful times. I have always had a love of cooking, and enjoyed when my kids were growing up and people would, their friends would come over and, you know, I'd fix everything I could think of to fix. But as we started dating, one night he said, if you couldn't fail, what would you do? And I said, I'd open a restaurant. And he had a Wendy's background, worked as director of operations for 44 years for them for Ohio and Indiana. And so he had the knowledge and I had the cooking ability. So here we are.
Well, what happened was we couldn't buy a restaurant, but we could buy a food trailer. So that's what we did. And I guess the restaurant started in a little box that you drive around with. And I've seen a lot of other companies do it that way. They start out as a food truck and they end up with their own restaurant. So I thought, well, that's a good start. And I know what it takes to run a restaurant, been doing it all my life, and she knows what it takes to produce good food because she's been doing that all her life. And so we put that together, and here we are, you know, what was part of the process. Just call us. Say, hey, if you drive by and you see my truck here or Ellen's car or whatever, stop in.
Yeah, we would love to see people stop in while we're working. We'll see you soon.